We're gonna move on to the next story. Social media reacts to video showing Paulding County deputy body slamming man. Let's see, is the actual video down here so I don't have to fucking watch this shit? Oh my god. I guess we're gonna have to
I have
listen
to read.
No, I wanted to show the video. All right, here we go. Let's see.
Oh, I have a Twitter link for that if you want.
Here we go. Hold up. Bam.
This is the shocking video showing a Paulding County Sheriff deputy stopping a man last March along a Paulding County road.
Let me see your hands.
Here we go.
Let me see your hands.
The man was just walking down the road. 11 Alive is blurring the suspect's face as he's only facing a misdemeanor charge, and we have been unable to speak to him directly. We also blurred the deputy's face, as authorities have not confirmed if he is facing any investigation. In a matter of seconds, though, the deputy threw the man onto the ground. According to court documents, the rough arrest occurred on March 4th, 2022. An anonymous person posted the video online this week and claims the man suffered a broken collarbone and a fractured skull. While 11 Alive hasn't confirmed the injuries, the Paulding County Sheriff's Office...
Yeah, they didn't show the part where he was like crying like a little bitch. It was pretty funny.
Do you want that Twitter link?
No, it's cool. I mean, that was essentially the video. Yeah, so this is making the rounds, and I mean, I hate to do this because I generally have an aversion to authority, but if somebody calls the police, like imagine you call the police and you tell the police, this man in a blue hoodie is going through my shit, he broke into my car, and then he's walking down the street that way. So then the police respond, and they see that guy with long hair, with the hoodie, and he's basically resisting arrest. Or not even resisting arrest, he's resisting lawful orders. And apparently he does have a lawful duty to respect the commands of these officers. And he didn't do it at all. He was combative. He was tightening his body up, and he wouldn't allow the officer to temporarily detain him. Again, imagine somebody that you identified is going through your shit, and then you call the police, and you give them the description, and then they go up to the guy, and then that guy was like, "Oh, well, I'm just on my way to work," and then they let him go because of that reason. Like, that's just not the world that we live in. So people are very animated and upset about the situation. So Cool Hand James, I imagine that the police don't really do shit like this in your country. Body slam people.
No. That's like a fucking idiot. No, our police actually have training.
Yeah.
Where our police look totally retarded when they do stuff, but you can see why they've done it.
Yeah.
If they want to do something like that to you, 6 of them will surround you and then start fucking jumping on you. And it's like, it's totally, they do not do that. And it's like, well, why did he do that? It didn't look, I just watched that clip and it was like, yeah, why the fuck did he do that? It didn't look like that guy deserved that.
No, and like a part of me is like, again, I'm a working class guy. I can sympathize with the man walking to work. I've been there. But on the other hand, it's like here's the thing. Like in the United States, here's the thing. If a police officer stops you and there's an ongoing investigation because of some bullshit that they were called to, you have to comply. That's just the country that we live in. And if you don't, they're gonna fuck your shit up. I was actually in a situation like this. So a very, very long time ago, I was gonna go to the movie theater with this girl, and we're gonna watch Transformers 2. And she was like being all cunty and stuff. So I was like, fuck this. And I left. And as I was leaving, the fucking police pull up right behind me. This is at the Green Valley Ranch Casino. They pull up behind me and they're fucking tailing my ass. And they're like, pull over. And I'm like, fuck. And I was like, I'll just pull over to the side where it's safe. And then like, they're fucking screaming at me. So I just stop. And they're like, when we tell you to fucking stop, you need to stop. And I was like, look, I didn't do anything. Like, I don't understand what is going on. And they told me somebody stole a bike and we think it is you. And then after like 4 or 5 minutes, no. So after like 4 or 5 minutes, they determined that I wasn't the bike thief. But like, again, it's bullshit. I was upset. I was very angry because of the incident with the girl. But I mean, that's just the country that we live in. So this guy fit the description of a potential suspect. And I understand asking questions, but it's like, dude, if you just comply for like 2 minutes, they'll let you go. So he wasn't complying at all, which is why the cop ended up fucking him up. I mean, they're told, don't risk your life. Don't have any patience for these people if they're not cooperating. And so that's why he did that. But I mean, there's plenty of incidences where like the cops go way too fucking far and they do shit they should, like George Floyd. Like he didn't have to have his fucking knee on the neck.
Like that video.
Or like that, yeah.
That we just watched. So okay, so I totally understand why black people burn down cities now.
Yeah.
Now you just want to go do that too, huh?
Yeah, fuck the police.
Yeah. Well, no. Here's the thing. Like Hannibal Barris.
You need cut homosexual police like we have.
No, we don't need that.
Well,
we don't need that.
You actually do.
You guys don't
don't
have the unique crime problem that we do, though. And like here's the thing.
We do.
Yeah, let's give you the diversity of beautiful America.
Yeah.
Have you seen London?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Sadiq Khan is never he's always he always takes an opportunity to tell us how lovely and diverse it is, and then I'm just like, oh, what's up with all these rape gangs? What's going on there? But
sounds like fun.
Here, something that sticks out in my mind in a situation like this. Hannibal Barris, the comedian, was having a debate with Sam Harris, the crazy lunatic, and they were talking about police brutality. And Hannibal Barris said, one time, like, this cop rolled up on me and he detained me. He's like grabbing my dick and stuff. And it was upsetting, obviously. Like, nobody wants that to happen to them. And Sam Harris put it like this. If somebody calls the police and say, a man in a red shirt robbed my liquor store and he has a weapon, and then the police respond, and then they see somebody like Hannibal Barris in a red t-shirt walking down the street, they're going to stop him and they're going to detain him and they're going to, do what they have to do. And it sucks. But I'm asking honestly, like, what are the cops supposed to do in a situation like that?
Kill themselves.
Yep. Well, there we go. Yeah.
That's, it sounds like very, very lovely advice.
I'm sorry, right? After lockdowns, it's like, I genuinely just want everybody in law enforcement to kill themselves. Or to be murdered by somebody in an extremely way. I don't care. And it's like my love of society or anything like that after the enforcers of lockdown, because you get all this back the blue shit and you're like, and you're like, oh well, you should back the blue. They're good. It's like these motherfuckers took everything from us.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, just doing my job, man. And you're like, well, okay, fucker.
Yeah.
Like, really,
that's
cool.
I will sympathize.
Yeah, you're just doing your job.
Yeah, I will sympathize with that position, because I was like, prior to 2020, I was, or even like prior to like
prior to lockdown,
yeah, like I was like, oh, we got to support the police. They're good people. Whatever. I know cops, and they're not all bad. Blah blah blah. But story like here in the States, there were mothers who took their children to go play, and they were arrested. There were business owners trying to, provide a service to the community. They were trying to make sure that their employees were fed and paid, and they were shut down. And of course, the only way that they were able to do that, the only way they were able to be shut down, is because the police showed up. So you had this fucking clerk from the government write up their little stupid
They're not
report.
your friends.
And then they after the report, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna call the police." And then the police come, and then they force people to do what they do. And then of course, like, the police were, they weren't our friend, and they allowed a lot of shit to go on. And then they went after people like us because they know that we're not gonna fucking fuck them up like other people would. So yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from, and you're not wrong, because I generally have that animosity myself.
Now fuck them.
Yeah, but this situation, I'm just like, I don't know. This could have been resolved in like a minute, but the guy was being a dumbass. And
by shooting the cop.
Yeah, oh, Jesus. I disavow that hate and
I can't side with them ever again. I hate them.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, I hate them. I hate all law enforcement.
Out of curiosity, did you have a personal encounter with the police at some point, especially with like the shuttering of your bar or your pub?
Yes.
Really?
I've had many personal like where they come and they try and enforce things to you, and I've had many encounters with the police owning a pub over the years. It's like they come in and they try and fucking tell you how your pub is run because it annoys them. It's like when I had a nightclub with a 2 a.m. license, and it was in an area that became like, when I took over the pub, it was basically an industrial estate, and then 5 years later, it become gentrified. And it's like I know this happens in America quite a lot, where it's like they take over the shit like they were shit areas, and like when they're when places are in terrible areas, a lot of people set up nightclubs because there's no neighbors to give a shit about like loud music.
Yeah, that's right.
So and it's like and then I had one of those places, and then some people have bought all the low priced housing there, and then turned it into posh housing, and then I got a load of complaints where it's like, oh, your nightclub, it's making a load of noise, and you're like, well, motherfucker, I was here first, and it's like, fuck off, and it's like, I've got a license to do whatever I want, and I don't give a shit about you, and then like they come, oh, it's too late to be playing music, and it's like, well, I've got a license, you fucking idiot. Damn. And it's like,
you got a license for that, mate.
Yeah. Well, this is this country for the license. You need a license for everything. And it's like, I literally did have a license, and they were still trying to fucking bully me. And you're like, nah, mate. And it's like, I am going to carry on doing what I want because I need to make all this money, because that's the whole point of the game. And they still harassed you. So, pre-lockdown, I did not particularly like the police anyway, because I fucking hate them. For the fact that they come to your pub, and then they go, oh, we're just gonna do a walkthrough, and you're like, oh, great. So you're gonna like make people run out of my building, and they're like, because they're like, oh, we're just gonna do a walkthrough just to see if everything's fine. And you're like,
what the hell does that even mean?
You got a warrant?
No, no, they don't need a warrant. They're doing what's called a walkthrough. Just to see if anybody's causing any trouble, which is they have to come and tell you that they're doing it, and you're like, buddy, you can see, you walk into the door and you go and you're like, is anybody causing any trouble? It's not a fucking warehouse, it's a pub. Yeah. And it's like, and they're like, oh, we're just gonna do a walkthrough, which means they're gonna walk around in circles for a while and try and scare some of the people, because like that. Well, I could talk forever.
Yeah, no, I think I understand it. I mean, like, look, when you're in a club or you're at a party and the cops show up, it's pretty much party's over. Is that?
Well, yeah, it makes people run away. And when they're doing it at 7 p.m. at night, and it's like, and I've got a whole, and it's like, oh my goodness. You're just trying to frighten people, and it's like you try because you know they've got drugs. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the problem. It's like oh. All they're trying to do is because they know everybody's got cocaine on them. And you're like, I know that, but it's like I'm not going to fucking like, I'm not going to search them, and it's like, and they're like, oh well, we're just going to do a walkthrough so we can try and intimidate these people. And you're like, okay, damn, great, good for you. All
right, I guess we're gonna be fuck the police the rest of this episode.
Yes,
for harassing names and his patrons.
I thought the watchfrogs licked the boot.
We do not lick any boot. Except for that
it's not just me. It's not they harass everybody. That's their entire job is to snitch on you. It is to be a snitch.
Yeah.
That's what they grew up to be, a snitch. And you're like, fuck off. And after lockdowns, that just accentuated it, because you're just like, oh, these people are fucking scum, and all they do is work for the government and enforce the government's rules.
Yeah,
I didn't want to get so dark on here.
No, you're good, brother. You're good. I mean, the whole thing here is that people can speak freely and speak the truth. You know, it's we're not Tim Pool. We don't censor ourselves and fucking hide shit from people. But like somewhat on a related note, because there was a content creator, Yankee Marshall. He's a firearm content creator, and like even though he's like pro 2A, he's kind of like a cuck. And he was like shitting on the police. Okay. He was shitting on the police a lot. And I was like, oh, I don't know, man. Maybe they should be given a break. He goes to Chaz. We talked about Chaz earlier. He went to Chaz to prove that they were peaceful and that they weren't violent. And within fucking like 10, 15 minutes, and it's all on video. I ended up archiving the videos on Bitchute because I didn't want him to take it down. He gets violently assaulted by like these young like urban youth. They hit him. They start fucking beating on him. And
that was him.
Yeah, that was Yankee Marshall.
I did not know.
I was supposed to debate that guy. I was going to fucking debate him, and he's like, I'm an ally. He's like, I'm an ally. I'm on your side. I'm like, what a fucking cuck. And my issue with him was he called somebody that I respect and love. He said that he was a valor thief. He was stealing valor. Basically, somebody pretending to be in the military. It was Mr. Guns and Gear, who did serve honorably. And a lot of men and women that were in his unit, they were like leaving comments like, yeah, I'm so-and-so. Here's my rank. This is where I served. And, you know, Mr. Guns and Gear saved my life. So I made the case. I was like, either Yankee Marshall is lying to people and he is saying that he has connections within the military when he really doesn't. He's just trying to stir up shit. Or he does and he's being lied to and he's being made a fool out of. Like, something is going on here. And, yeah, he never ended up getting back to me, but I wanted to debate him. But, yeah, no, that was the guy who went to Chaz and he got smacked around. And it's funny because, like, you know, you shut on the police. They weren't there to protect you. They probably would have protected him because he's like an older white dude. And he used to be a cop, too. So I generally, you know, respected his, you know, opinions and shit. But, yeah.
No, they would not have protected him.
No, probably not. Not at this point.
They fucking left. Like, they completely left. They shot themselves and ran away. And that whole thing, you remember that woman? The woman who was running the Seattle Police Department. She gave them the main police station, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Oh, what was her name? Was it the mayor?
No, not the mayor, not Mayor Jenny. There was another one. There was the actual. She was the head of police or something.
I know what you're talking about. It was a black woman.
The black woman. Yeah, and she just gave them the police department. She just gave them the police station, like the main police station. She was like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. They can have it." and then obviously like they started raping all the women. And it was like, oh well, this maybe has not worked out the way we thought it would.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like, oh, dude, those evil Trump supporters in their red hats are so dangerous.
Yeah,
and, like, surrounded by communists and criminals, and they're getting fucking beat up and raped. And I was like told that, you know, like people like Eliza Blue is like, when are men gonna defend us? I'm like, never. I'm never gonna fucking risk anything for you.
Never, ever.
Yeah, think of
not now.
Speaking my language. Yeah, no, exactly right. Not now. Maybe a younger, naive version of me would be like, oh,
maybe in the 90s when they weren't so fucking annoying. And they like, well, you kind of deserve it. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no, they certainly do. Let's see. Yeah. The Cat's writes, even for the car meets here, the police scare people, probably because their project cars weren't registered, which I understand, but they definitely ruin the fun. Yeah, we have a lot of motorcycle meets out here in Las Vegas, and for whatever reason, people in Vegas who ride motorcycles, they don't like to have their license plates on their bike, which I think is kind of stupid, but whatever. And yeah, we also have like a lot of car activities and shit, and people do weird stuff, and the police definitely ruin them. And I used to have very large parties at my house. And yeah, but they never, the police never scared people away. They would just come by and like, your music's really loud. Can you turn it down? I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it never scares them away. Look, like if you're being annoying to somebody and you're causing somebody a problem, like, then I kind of understand you ringing the police. I would rather you just went round to the person and said, look, you're making my life unbearable. Can you just please stop? Because I would always immediately just go, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'll stop.
Yeah.
But, like, if you start ringing the police on me, then it's like, no, I'm going to do it 10 times more.
Yeah, we went to, like, 2 or 3 a.m. in the evening.
That is the way you react to the police being called. Because people, everybody despises the police.
To a degree. When I was younger, I definitely hated them a lot, and then I kind of cooled off. But now, after the lockdowns, I'm just like, I don't know. All I know is that I am not going to go out of my way to defend most people, because I live in a blue city. So, like, half the people, for being generous, half the people in this city, like, hate me. They want me in jail and beat up and in prison and censored and all that. So I'm just like,
I live in a totally right-wing country. We've had a right-wing government for 10 years.
Really? You feel that way? The UK?
But they are. We have had the Conservative Party in charge since 2008, I think. And that's over 10 years. That's 15 years. And this is how it gets.
Do you think Boris Johnson was right-wing? Because initially I thought he would be like a British Trump.
No,
but then he kind of cucked, didn't he?
No, not
there's
really.
never going to be a British Trump.
No, that's what he wanted to be. But Trump wasn't right wing. Trump was left wing. It's like that's the thing that I don't quite understand about American politics. And it's like Trump is left wing. It's like he's like all of this. Nothing of this is right. Nothing of this is right wing. In the UK, what we have is right wing. It's authoritarian. You're getting told what to do. Everything's fucking. That's right wing.
Interesting point of view.
Well, I mean,
it's
Trump,
point of
yeah,
view,
like
because,
Trump did less for gun rights than even Obama did.
What they're
right?
trying to tell you in America is right wing, is left wing, and it's like if you look back, at the way Trump is like, I don't quite understand what's going on with the way they're like, oh, it's conservative. It's like, no, conservatism is protecting rights for rich people, which is what they do in this country. Yeah. It's like we're telling in the UK, the poorer you are, the less rights you have. The left, Trump was left wing. He was populist, which is left wing, and it's like, and it is not. None of this is right wing. None of what they say is right wing is actually right wing. Well, it wasn't 15 years ago. Because conservatism is about retaining the status quo, conserving the status quo. That's the whole point of the whole conservative movement, so the rich people can conserve how rich they are. It's not to. That's the entire point of the whole thing. And it's like Trump is extremely left wing. He's about the working man, the working people, and stuff like that. That's left wing. That's what it is. Then you've got Joe Biden, who's like sort of like, it's all about like college educated children, and it's sort of like, oh, you should be a pedophile because like that's what university professors think is cool. Yeah. And you're like, that's what all of them want to do, and you're like, you should fuck children, and it's like that's what rich people want to do because they've.
I'll say this. They're like, at least here in the States, we differentiate between left-wing populism and right-wing populism. And
there's no such thing as the right-wing populism.
You don't think so?
No,
oh, shit. Yeah, well, I don't know how to square with that
one. There actually isn't, because right wing is conservatism. There's no populism in conservatism. It's the entire movement is to keep the little person down.
Yeah,
that's the whole point. That's why it's so weird to switch, because like Trump basically was just saying what Bill Clinton was saying in the 90s.
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, no, certainly.
He literally was.
Well, everybody's arguments is like, oh, Trump is just withholding like what the Democrats thought in the 90s. I'm like, that's not a good thing.
Well, that's all he is.
Yeah,
it's not right wing. There's none of this is right wing. Right wing, like I know you can say right wing is sort of saying Hitler's fucking cool and all that sort of stuff, but in reality, that's not really right wing. That's just being like a fucking nut job.
Yeah,
but like, but in like you've got DeSantis who's like saying he's right wing. None of these people are right wing. You've got what has happened is the left wing is now just sort of like, oh, you should be trans, and you should also be trans and have sex with children because that's cool. And it's like that's not left wing. Left wing has always been for the working person. It's like it's the working person. That's why we have the Labour Party in this country, in my country. They're supposed to be. We had Jeremy Corbyn, who should have won the last election because he's the only politician I know in world politics that actually was a real politician who like wasn't he wasn't paid. But
would you prefer Corbyn over what's his face, Boris?
I voted for him, yeah.
Damn, man.
Because it's like, because Jeremy Corbyn was the only person who is not being paid, who isn't a WEF like Klaus Schwab person. That's why they decided. That's why they smeared him by saying he hated Jews. He doesn't hate Jews. There's nothing on record that could ever like link him to hating Jews. But like he got like obviously the entire British media told the population that he hated Jews and he was an anti-Semite.
Yeah, we got a lot of that here too.